I have always been into fitness. I am a fitness trainer by profession, and I have been running since 2007 now. And I've been doing Mumbai marathons and nothing really big, but just the regular yearly Mumbai marathon that we used to do. And since I was born and brought up in Pune, and Pune is big on cycling. So while growing up, we always had our cycle to commute everywhere. So once I started running, we did the half marathon, a couple of half marathons, and then we moved to a full marathon. And then after doing a few full marathons, it was just, for lack of words, it was just something that a few friends, we decided to do something out of kick. Now we're done with full marathon. Now what comes next? So someone said, okay, let's do Ironman. And to be very honest, I didn't know much about triathlons back then, but just that the name sounded very cool. So we signed up for a half Ironman, and just the prep for that half Ironman was quite exciting, and just the fact that you get to practice and you get to follow 3 different disciplines was good enough for me to try and pursue a bit, like try and dig a bit more deeper into it. And after doing a couple of half, I signed up for my first full Ironman in 2016, and I did Ironman South Africa in 2016. And I guess along the way, I think I just got kind of addicted to the sport, and I just liked the fact that it gives you a goal for good 6 to 8 months of your year, and it puts you in discipline of getting up and doing, not aimlessly just going and working out, but there is some structure that you put to test at the end of the your training plan, which is the actual race. So I guess it's just out of addiction that I started competing. So like I said, the first one was just out of sheer excitement of the name of it, and probably it's not the best reason, but that is the truth. And we signed up for 70.3 Taiwan. That was 2013. And back then I had a mountain bike. I didn't have a road bike. So, and I did not know, like I said, I did not know much about the sport. So I did not know that you cannot be riding a mountain bike in your race. So then the whole idea of getting a new bike and everything, it was exciting, but at the same time, it was quite expensive. So planning the whole race out, generating your own funds, because I'm a freelancer, and then things you need to plan and stuff like that was what was quite exciting but challenging as well. So the first ever triathlon I did, the Taiwan one, was I rented a bike for it. And I think the first time ever I rode a road bike was in the race itself. So I had never ridden a road bike before that. So and like they say, once you ride a road bike, then there is no looking back. You just kind of get hooked to it. So like that was the first race ever, and the whole built up to the race and actually going and pursuing it was a different feeling, which got me to sign for my second half Ironman, which was Malaysia. This time it was more prepared, but again I didn't have a road bike, so I took one of my friend's bike this time. It was a tri bike, and we went and did that race. 2016 is when I signed up for my first full Ironman, and 3 months before the race is when I actually got my first ever road bike, and I pursued that. 2017 was Copenhagen, which was more about getting your timing better, putting in more structured training into place and stuff. So that worked out, and timing wise, I think that was my best race ever. And then last month I did Ironman Italy. So that has been the journey so far, and I look forward to do at least one race a year. So yeah. So I have not done Goa earlier. 2019 when it happened, I did not do Goa because I was focusing a bit more on my running that year. But from what I've heard, and obviously I traveled to Goa in between, and I'm aware of the course that the bike course especially that's there, and it's quite challenging is what I've heard from friends who have done it in the past. And cycling is my favorite discipline, but as far as preparation is concerned, what I'm trying to do is getting like putting in as many climbs as I can in my rides. So far I have managed to, I will only know in the race, but what I really like to do is just get my bike, get a support car, and just do a Khandala ride, because that's exact distance, and that's probably not the same climb, but it's pretty similar. So I'm focusing more on spending more time on the bike this time, and obviously weather is something that is also a big factor in Goa because it's going to be humid. But since this all, I live in Mumbai, so that weather is something that I'm kind of familiar with. But hoping that my calculations will fall in place on the race day. Honestly, like I said, the biggest challenge so far was my first two races where I didn't have a bike. So that was the only challenge, to be honest. Because fitness wise, I don't and I don't want to sound too overconfident or arrogant when I say this, but I have been working out, and I have played a sport in my childhood. Like I used to play tennis. I've played states and nationals. So discipline is something, or training is something that I am, again, without sounding arrogant, I am something that I'm used to and something that I like. So fitness wise, I don't think that was a bigger challenge for me, because the fact that I get up and I put in a workout is something that I like. But bike and the expense, if you ask me, to be very honest, is the most challenging part for me, especially because I'm a freelancer, and especially because I come from a typical Indian middle class family, and triathlons is an expensive sport, and it's too easy to get carried away and just spend a lot of money. So that was the most challenging part. As far as overcoming a bit is concerned, to be honest, I never really thought about this, but one thought that comes to my mind is my tennis coach used to say. So when I joined tennis, I was about 8 years old, and I again joined tennis purely out of fascination for tennis rackets. Uh, and I joined a class and I wanted to buy a new racket. And my coach, she didn't allow me to buy a racket, which is something that's not heard of in today's day and time. But my coach did not allow me to buy a racket for good one year of my uh, early days in tennis. And only when I decided to participate in a tournament, that's when she um, um asked me. She got a few options and she asked me to choose one of the rackets, and that was my first racket ever. And I think all all the practice that I did to till the tournament was using a racket that was uh, like one of the rackets from the storerooms that used to be kept at the tennis court. So that kind of um, uh, put in this habit of uh, is the equipment more important than sport, or is it sport that you want to pursue? So I think that kind of uh, stayed with me because of my coach. So when it came to my first race, I was really not concerned about how I'm going to manage uh, a cycle. I knew people who had cycles, and I knew that you can always rent a cycle. So I don't know if this is the right answer, but probably that was one of the way of overcoming that particular obstacle, which I felt was an obstacle. No, it's absolutely important. I mean, not only in triathlon, but I think in uh, in your day-to-day life, and especially with the way world is heading with all the social media and the internet, and it's kind of becoming all about your image. Mental health does play an important part. uh, I in fact feel that if you have a discipline, and in my case it's my sport and it's my fitness, that has kind of given me a reality check and has kind of uh, kept me real when it comes to what really matters, and what you want to do with your life. And I would like to believe that this is my calling, and I would like to think that way and work in that direction. So that way I feel all the uh, men all the mental challenges, you kind of channelize it in your training. It kind of gives you that peace of mind. I don't know how else to explain it. uh, yes, it is demanding. Yes, it requires a lot of time from you. You need to give in a certain number of hours for your training, all the way build up to the race. But at the same time, there's a huge satisfaction of doing something that you really love doing. And at the end of the day, no matter whatever challenge you face, or no matter how frustrating at times it gets, whenever you end up putting in a good workout session, or whenever you cross any finish line, that satisfaction you have, I think that tops every other emotion that you go through during the process. So I'm 37 now, and I started the sport very late in my life, um, and obviously I also like to keep the balance. I mean, it's not life is not only about sport, and also you need to earn your livelihood, you need to make your living. uh, I need to work because that also is my passion. Fitness training is my passion. So clearly at the age of 37 you can't leave everything and just do triathlons. You're not ready uh, physically, you're not ready emotionally, you're not ready financially. So at the age of 37, if I expect to get podiums. And uh, I mean, not that people are not doing it, people are doing it. I cannot do it at this point of time. uh, so that's a bus that I have missed. So what I would really like to do, and what I really hope to do, is keep doing what I'm doing for next 20 years. And probably I'll start uh, getting podiums, or start kind of turning into a pro when I'm 55 or 60 category. So that's my future goal. It's a little far fetched, but I would like to pursue it.